Hey there friends, Nips again. Out here in the garage tonight doing a little bit of goofing around, a little bit of tinkering around, and I have got another product here from Discovery Op. They asked me to take a look at and do a review on, and right off the bat I am very pleased with the way this product looks. They sent these over to me, so what we have is some they're 7075 aluminum, very nice 30 millimeter scope rings with Picatinny mounts. They come in this really nice box, and they're very well packaged. So I have the Discovery Opt, what is it, the 5 to 30 by 56, and it came with very similar a very similar set of rings, but those are actually 34 millimeter rings. So I thought it'd be nice to do they asked me if I wanted to do 30 or 34. That's the only scope I have that has 34 millimeter rings, so I didn't think I had really wanted to get another set of 34 millimeters because I would never use them. Well, I don't have anything to use them right now with anyway. But so I said, send me the 30 millimeter ones because I really thought it would be nice to, what we're going to be doing is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with these rings, but these are so much nicer. This is actually my No-Tos with the Discovery Opt 3 to 12 by 40. It's a really nice little scope. And these are the rings that they provide with it right out of the box. But we're going to go ahead and swap those out with these Discovery Opt, a little bit higher end, higher quality, whatever you want to say, but these are just so nice. Nice and snugly fit in there, but nicely machined. But let's get into the, actually has all the torque specs on there. 30 inch-pounds, 20 inch-pounds. Stand by, I'm gonna break out. I do have a inch-pound torque wrench, so I'm gonna get that out and get that set up with the proper bits on it, and we'll use that to put this on, so stand by. Alrighty, I am back, and I have a little torque wrench. It's a little beam style torque wrench, and we'll use that to do proper torque specs on these fasteners here. So the top bolts say 20 inch-pounds, and the bottom bolts that connect it to the gun say 30 inch-pounds. So we'll go ahead and use those specs. But I have a camera running up here overhead, and we'll switch up to that now, and we'll get this old one out first. So it looks like those are probably 3 millimeter hex head bolts. Yep, there they are. Of course, for this review, I'm not gonna spend time to actually sight this gun in and everything, but these will be on for the next time I do a video for this No-Tos. This is like the ultimate No-Tos build. Not much No-Tos left. So, and make sure I'm keeping you guys in view here. The last video I did overhead here ended up being half the video was out of frame, and I apologize for that. So let's go ahead, and I really do like this little Discovery Op scope. The one thing that I have read several people complain about it, and I can attest to that, is it is very particular as far as eye relief, so you got to make sure you got that eye relief sitting just right, or it will look blurry. But if you have it sitting where it needs to be sitting for eye relief, that scope is very, very clear. And it's not like, but if you can be too close to it, and you won't have a perfect field of view, but it'll be clear. But if you're too far back off that scope, it will appear like you got the proper eye relief. It'll just look blurry. So it is a little bit. All right. So there is. So these rings look like they're the same height as the rings that I have on there already, so it should not change my cheek rise at all, which actually was very nice. Let's just set this one right next to it and see here. Yeah, they're exactly the same height, so that's good. I do have a few 30 millimeter scopes, so I can probably reuse these somewhere else. These scope mounts definitely won't go to waste. Alrighty, get that guy mounted up on there, and we'll. These are T20 fasteners on here. So I can take my little beam torque wrench here. It doesn't take much to get 30 inch-pounds, so let's go ahead and so there's 30 inch-pounds on one. There's 30 inch-pounds on the second one. Let's just double check the first one, make sure it didn't. Oh, that should be good. Okay, there's 30 inch-pounds on the first back one. So I'd gotten this little beam scale here to actually, it's actually a bike building scale, but I bought that to rebuild axles with. So when you build your axle and you set the bearing tension for the pinion, there's supposed to be a certain amount of rolling resistance. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but there's a certain amount of rolling resistance that you're supposed to have, or the bearing is not tight enough. If it's too tight, you'll burn the bearing up. If it's too loose, once it breaks in, it'll be sloppy. So you want to have the torque set just right, and you can check to make sure that your bearing lash is set just right by using that little torque wrench to, it's like 10 or 15 inch-pounds of rolling resistance to on the pinion bolt, pinion nut. Alright, so there's our two caps off. I like that. That's nice. It's got these little alignment pins here. I didn't notice that before. Very nice precision mounts here. So let's go ahead and get that in there. And I know this is, everybody's gonna cringe when I do this, but this is, I've been doing it for years, and it's just how I do it to set my level. I guess if I was shooting 300-400 yards with this rifle, it might make a big difference, but for 30 or 40 yards that I might shoot with this no-toast eyeball in my level, we'll be just fine. All right, let's go back up here. Put our caps back on. I put the scope back exactly where it was before. This back, it's basically centered on this back. All right, so I'm going to turn that. So these bolts are numbered for how you torque them as well. So you've got a 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are really nice rings. They're not terribly expensive. They're like in the $50 range. I've got scopes in here that cost less than these rings did. They come with everything, but they definitely are not precision like this. So a little bit more bling for the for the no-toast. Pretty cool. All right, so there's the first cap with all the initial. I really do like this little scope though at 3 to 12, so you can turn it down to 3, and it actually has an adjustable objective down to only 5 yards, so you can use that for some indoor plinking if you're plinking in your garage or plinking in your basement, and then when you take it outside, going 25-30 yards, you can adjust that objective up and throw the power ring up to 10 or 12 and still have some decent sighting going on at 25-30. I've shot this thing up to 40 yards so far. Done pretty good. Alright, so they're just finger snug here. So now we can take our, alright, so they go in a cross pattern. So the back one here is 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So I'm only going to 20 with these. I'm gonna go to 10 to start off with on all of them. And I'll go back and go to 20. So there's 10 on all of them. Now let's go back to 1. That was like about 20. A little plastic pointer on there broke off somewhere down the road, but alright, that looks like 20. Alright, it's actually less torque than I would normally probably put on these, so probably was over torquing my fasteners for my bolts all these years. There's 10. It's kind of good to get all of your bolts kind of started at. And I even do this even when I'm not using a torque wrench. Just kind of slowly build my way up to what I think is proper torque. So there's 20. And there's 20. There's 20. And that one was already at 20. All right. So there we go. That's installed. I'll bring you back to the eye level camera here. So there you go. That is the Notos with the new scope rings installed. Nicely done. I'm looking across my garage, 7 yards here. Crystal clear sight picture. I've got it set at 5 right now on the objective, but like I was talking about, you can take this thing right outside and go right to 25 or 30 yards and still be crystal clear. So pretty cool. So if you are interested in upgrading your rings, I'll have a link for these from the Amazon website down in my description down below, along with the rest of my Amazon storefront. But there you go. The Amazon, or the Notos, continues to grow. But pretty cool. Discovery Opt 7075 aluminum. Very nice upgrade to the scope rings. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.